We have officially gotten to the playoff stretch, the USL Championship season. 2 months remain, and the Indy 11, after splitting their energy between the US Open Cup and the USL Championship slate pretty much all season long, now that focus is singular Pittsburgh's focus is trying to climb the Eastern Conference table as they're just 4 points back of the Indy 11. That is the backdrop. We welcome you to the mic in downtown Indianapolis for rivals since 2018, Indy and Pittsburgh, alongside Brad Hodder. My name is Greg Rakestraw. Thanks for joining us on My Indy TV and ESPN+. Yes, our focus is on the championship, but let's acknowledge Tuesday's result in Kansas City. The Open Cup run ended in the semifinal round. A 2-0 defeat late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. Brad, your takeaways from what you saw in that match and that competition all summer long.
You have to be thrilled with it. If you're an Indy 11 fan, you're energized by it. You beat Atlanta in Atlanta, and then here against Sporting Kansas City in the second half, you were all over them for a chance to equalize and maybe pull this game out.
Double-digit shots. Again, both goals allowed in half number one. Indy took it to them in half number two. Just couldn't find a breakthrough against the tremendous Tim Melia. But now for Indy, it's going to be a third match in the last 8 days. There's been a lot of travel involved. How does that affect tonight's effort for Sean McCauley's team?
Well, mentally right now you can put your entire focus on, as you mentioned, the playoff push in Pittsburgh tonight. You're going to be a little bit physically drained from all that air travel and the games this week, but 3 points tonight is your goal.
But what can you do to help mitigate those factors? Well, you can bring in new players. You have seen one of them the last couple of matches in Malik Foster. The other is brand new. Hayden White just got in country this week. He's in the starting 11 for Coach McCauley.
You could see against Sporting Kansas City when Foster came into the game, he's got next-level pace. He can change the game. And White is projected to be one of the best players in the USL Championship in short order.
While Hayden White is new to us, the starting netminder for the opposition is not. The pride of both Carmel and Butler, and formerly of the Indy 11, Eric Dick is having a career renaissance this season in Pittsburgh.
It is great to see such a great professional, such a great kid, to see him have this kind of success.
A Bob Lilly team being stingy? No, I've never heard of that before. But what they have done as of late, they have gone unbeaten in their last 8 matches. They have found the back of the net, including 3 times last week against Birmingham.
Yeah, they're always a tough team to break down. In these 8 games that they're unbeaten, they've only given up 5 goals. But now you add to it, they're starting to put the ball in the net. That's dangerous.
Again, there are 4 positions in the table that separate these two teams, but just 4 points that do. A win for either side tonight would be absolutely massive. And if you feel bad about this week for the Indy 11, I guarantee you those little ones across the way will make you feel better. It's Pubs at the Pitch night. That an opening kickoff come your way next on My Indy TV and ESPN+.
AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money. From rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling, you can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
At Indiana Members Credit Union, we're invested in more than just your finances. We're invested in your future, the future of your family, the well-being of the community you live in, and in those who dream big. Until those dreams become a reality, any bank can give you a loan or open an account. At IMCU, we care about more than just dollars and cents. We care about doing things that make sense. And investing in you makes good sense to us.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Tonight's match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. And by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Your Central Indiana Ford dealers are a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Let's get right to your starting lineups there, presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Yes, everybody got a good boy to take to the starting lineups in tonight's match for Bob Lilly and Pittsburgh again. Eric Dick is the guy that we know, but Robbie Mertz has been playing there forever. You feel the same way about Danny Griffin and Rovera, and Edward Kizza has been on a roll as of late. 7 goals lead the Riverhounds.
Yeah, love Kizza, but Mertz is the engine of this team. I've loved him since I first saw him play.
For the Indy 11 of note, Jack Blake was kind of a late week scratch for the Indy 11. Sebastian Guenzati goes in for him, but of note, back to a back four for Sean McCauley's team.
Right, and you look at the difficulty this week with all the travel in the 3 games, and you've got some guys who played limited minutes over the last couple, so hopefully you've got some fresh legs in addition to what White brings.
On this Labor Day weekend, we thank you for spending your Saturday night with us. Hello to you on My Indy TV and ESPN Plus. Those who watching on KDKA Plus in the Pittsburgh area. Thanks for being a part of what is one of the best rivalries in the league. These two teams have played every year since the Indy 11 have joined the USL back in 2018. Indy has won each of the last 2 seasons in Pittsburgh. They played to a draw in this building last season.
Would you say 15 times these teams have played?
Yep, 14 previous times. 11 of them have been 1-goal games.
That's what I was going to say. Have you ever seen a game with Pittsburgh where they've been off defensively?
I have seen games where it was like, my goodness, that was one-sided. What was the final score? 1-0. The way that it works every time. The rare exception was last year, and Indy was the only team to go to Pittsburgh and win during the regular season last year, and they did so in stunning 4-1 fashion in a late July get-together. And the Eastern Conference standings are absolutely jumbled from 4 down to about 11. Any of those teams could be a playoff team, which means nothing is settled. We know that Louisville and Charleston likely 1 and 2. Tampa Bay seems pretty secure at number 3. After that, good luck. Ball off the boot of Douglas Martinez. Sean Subert with the play. Throw in coming for the Riverhounds. By the way, Eligio Arguin is our referee tonight. Matt Trotter and Christian Little are our assistant referees, and Alex Beeler is our 4th official. So here is Hayden White. And we have seen Indy go with players that have significant English experience in the past. Jermaine Johnson from the original season comes to mind. Alex McQueen from a couple of years ago that had spent time at Dagenham and Redbridge, amongst other locales. Romario Williams trying to carve out some space. Good leave, couldn't find a teammate.
He had a nice little overlapping run from Guenzati. He was trying to connect with him.
Let's get to our injury report, brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Jack Blake, Adrian Deespay, Callum Chapman-Page, and Macaulay King all out for tonight's match. Again, Chapman-Page lasted 15 minutes on Tuesday before he succumbed to an injury. Adrian Deespay got hurt in training last week, so hasn't played in any of these 3 matches. Trust me, the Hayden White move was in the works already for the Indy 11. It is like manna from heaven in terms of him being available and able to play tonight. Here comes Foster. Foster with the shot. Guenzati 1 touch. 2nd touch does not get through.
That's that swarming defense from the Riverhounds. The ball comes into Guenzati. He's got to take a prep touch before he can strike it, and then it just closes all windows.
As Pittsburgh will bring the ball the other end of the park, let's talk about our keys to the match. They are presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Brad, take it away.
You'll be looking at if Indy's front 3 can cause some problems for Pittsburgh's back 3, and then it's the counter press from Indy. They need to be effective in generating repossessions. Don't let Pittsburgh have that ball long. For the Riverhounds, it's keep play predictable. The Riverhounds do a great job of pushing teams into very, very predictable possessions. And then Edward Kizza, a career year right now with 7 goals. He is peaking at the right time for this Pittsburgh club.
Remember, that's 7 goals in Pittsburgh. That's like 14 other places. And I don't mean it to be derogatory. It's the way it is and I mean, again, it's a fight every time you play.
Yeah, but it works. The players win. You look at how this team performs, and rough start to the 2024 season. And right now, with this game, you might be in the playoff picture.
The next time, by the way, that Pittsburgh misses the playoffs with Bob Lilly as the head coach would be the first, just to put that out there. Guenzati goes down, and that will be an immediate card shown to Pat Hogan. So the first yellow match happens in minute number 4. And again, Hogan just got the timing wrong on that. Josh Frankham waved on to check on Sebastian Guenzati. Guenzati is wanting more than a yellow.
Yeah, I think there are some cleat marks up his leg.
And Aiden Quinn is using that as State's Exhibit A. Hogan picks up yellow. For Hogan, that is his 5th of the season. Let's take a look. I would say putting a defensive player under an immediate yellow 4 minutes in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, that look.
Yeah, the first look I thought
it was all foot on that first
understood.
look.
And the second look, it's a different story. I want to congratulate Bob Lilly. 400 wins. The winningest professional coach in North American professional soccer.
Unreal. Unreal.
And you will see when we show Bob Lilly, a good friend of ours, John Bush. Was that card just changed? Yep. It was just changed to a red. My goodness. Indy is going to get the benefit. They will be a man up for the next 85 minutes. What was a yellow card was just changed to a red. So the yellow has been changed to a straight red card, and Indy will be a man up for the remainder of this match. What a break for the Indy 11.
Wow.
Potentially it is shades of last year in Charleston when Indy and Sebastian Guenzati drew a red card in the opening minute of the match. And again, it was a boot that was well up the thigh of Sebastian Guenzati. And a minute after the yellow was handed out, it changes to a red. And now it is 11 v 10 going forward.
Now the way that the Riverhounds defend with this group and blue-collar philosophy, I don't anticipate it's going to change too much on the way that they handle the back third. I think where it's going to have that effect is when they drop a player back. It's probably going to be Kizza standing up a little bit on an island by himself and them coming out of their defensive formation in moments when he's able to collect the ball and they can support him.
So Hogan barely breaks a sweat. He will have the restart here. Of course, this match is brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. Quinn to Hayden White. White's cross will turn into a corner kick, brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. White has played for Bolton Wanderers, Carlisle United, Notts County, Blackpool, Mansfield Town, and Walsall. In addition to his last team, Ebbsfleet United in the National League. Quinn bending ball in, goes all the way through. James Musa couldn't get anything to it. I'll let it trickle across for a throw in.
Thought Kizza got just a little bit to redirect it away from Musa.
And Musa getting the start as he did last Saturday in Las Vegas. Played all but the first 15 minutes against Sporting Kansas. They played well on Tuesday. Osamanu, along with Danny Griffin, steer that ball across the byline, and it will be another corner. Brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Aiden Quinn with Cam Lindley not in the starting lineup tonight. Aiden Stanley's been this guy from the left side, but now it's Quinn. Quinn's ball eludes everybody. What? Couldn't find Martinez. Flag went up. Martinez was in an offside position. By the way, the fourth official has been in a long conversation with Bob Lilly. The record for a Pittsburgh Indy game for a Bob Lilly conversation, 20 minutes with his third-string goalkeeper, August of 2018.
I will never forget that, because we did the complete post-game show while they were talking at midfield, and as we're locking up in the booth, they're still talking.
Welcome to Inside Baseball. We would come back from every commercial break and show that shot, and I can tell you the third-string keeper, whose name I have forgotten, who was the starting keeper that night, by that time, said exactly 0 words during the course of that conversation. It'll be a handball, Guenzati.
And these are the equalizing moments for the Riverhounds. It's restarts, it's counterattacks, transitional moments.
Jackson Walty will defer to a teammate. Sean Subert will be the player that will play this in for Pittsburgh. This is a relatively young Pittsburgh side. Just 2 players 30 and older. Now, one of those is as veteran as you can get in the ageless Canardo Forbes, who picked up his 66th assist of his USL Championship career last week on the 3rd Pittsburgh goal. Another player in Junior Etu is not in the 18 tonight for Pittsburgh, so all 20-somethings and under the rest of the way.
A big moment. You take a look at the restart that they had from midfield and knock it into the corner. That keeps Indy from being able to win the ball and immediately go out on the break. It kind of locks it in. Maybe there's a corner kick, goal kick, throw in that comes from there. You try and manage this game now when you're a player down. And you get a moment like this, you drain another 15, 20 seconds off that you have to play a man down and really focus on this. This is an equalizing moment for the Riverhounds.
Indy won the opener 2-1 against Pittsburgh back on June 1st. He had a 2-0 lead in that game. Pittsburgh would get one back in the second half. He kind of hung on for dear life the last 40 minutes to pick up that win. Mertz sends it in. Ofemu will steer it across the byline for a Wilson Kehoe Winningham corner. This time the first for the Riverhounds. By the way, veteran move by Eric Dick and John Bush on the Pittsburgh sideline. They knew, put their backs in front of the Brickyard Battalion in half number 1. The setting sun is a factor for Hunter Salt in this east-west pitch alignment. Tonight's match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care, simply delivered. This corner delivered by Robbie Mertz. Head to it. Who touched it last? It's going to be a goal kick. Nope. As the referee pointed to Hunter Salt, referee says, nope, that's going to the corner flag. And corner kick number 2 in short order for Pittsburgh, again brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
It doesn't matter if you're a man down in moments like this. Serve a good ball, beat your man to the ball.
Headed down, but across frame. That was Subert that got to it. 2 goals for Subert this season. Tonight's match brought in part by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana, winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthebold.com.
So you saw early on, it looked like Pittsburgh's in a 3-5-2 with some wings that'll help out a little bit defensively and press forward. You can see the signals coming in from Bob Lilly on the sidelines. Going to hold those wings a little bit deeper, play with that 5 back, and only send them when there are significantly positive moments for them to spend that energy to support.
Malik Foster could not keep that ball from going across the touchline. Throw in coming for the Riverhounds. Opportunity here, 2v3. Ball played forward for Kizza. Hayden White, and then the clearance ricochets off of Lawrence Wotton. The step by Hayden White, helped out by Ofemu. This bending ball will stay in play. Here's Luke Biasi. Biasi, a third-year pro, has played his entire career with the Riverhounds. And White. Ball whistled against Pittsburgh.
Leg first.
I asked this question of Sean McCauley because he has lived it. I will ask it to you. What is this transition like for Hayden, who has played in nothing but England over the years and all of a sudden is playing a quarter of a world away?
The crazy thing about this game is this, the field, the tactics, the technique, the speed, everything translates internationally. So now it's how quickly can you settle in. I imagine on this first match, he's just gotten to town, he's just met his teammates. So much of today is going to be on adrenaline.
And 3 defenders out and injured. Macca King has missed nearly the entire season. Obviously, Deespae and Chapman Page, relatively new injuries. Ball knocked forward to Martinez. Little flick towards Malik Foster. Right back to Dougie. On the cross. Sliding tackle by Sean Suber. Well done. However, it is still a corner for the BYB. Presented by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
Great opportunity. Martinez gets into space. Suber does a great job of denying that ball across the middle.
And it is Aiden Quinn, one of 4 players in league history with 50 or more assists. All of them active players, by the way. Of course, 2 of them are in this match. The bending ball headed across. Musa got a head to it. Ofemu comes in and does more than is allowed from an official's perspective. Restart coming for the Hounds. Well, Soccer Saturday featured that man on your screen and James Musa. Also joined by Sean McCauley and the lovable Devin Kerr. Podcast available now, anchor.fm/Indy-11. And tune in live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. And that'll be a foul on White.
Now that might be one adjustment too. You know, you look at the leagues in England. Is it a lot more physical? Is it going to take a little bit of time to adjust to the whistles here in the U.S.?
E.J. Johnson was the player that drew the infraction for the Hounds. Biasi. Stanley will watch this one easily go across the byline for a Hunter Salt goal kick. First time the home fans had a chance to cheer on the Indy 11 since August the 11th. However, dozens of Indy 11 fans made the trip to Kansas City, and members of the Brickyard Battalion did so on the same flight as the Indy 11 front office and the Indy 11 players. Brad, I cannot tell you how cool that experience was on Monday and Tuesday.
It was great. You know, so grateful to everybody for organizing it and the whole experience, and to some of our partners for putting together some amazing stuff in the goodie bags for everybody.
Aiden Stanley, tremendous effort to keep that ball in play. Wotton, Guenzati, Williams, Guenzati.
Wow.
The last touch didn't get the script, but the speed of thought and delivery of pass, fun to see for the home team.
Yeah, great build up, and then you've got one of the league's best finishers with the ball at the top of the box.
The 5th best finisher in league history, to be precise, with his 75th career goal that happened last week against Las Vegas. I'll show you highlights of that match at halftime. That was a rotated Indy 11 side. And Stanley clattered into. Foul called against Pittsburgh. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride. Get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. We also took some sponsors with us on that trip, including our friends at Indiana Members Credit Union. So Thorpe, I hope you had a good time on the trip. Aiden Quinn. Douglas Martinez trying to get in front of Rivera, and Martinez goes down, and it will be a corner. And again, let's face it, when you get a red so early in the match, right, you're not getting many 50-50 whistles for the next few minutes.
It's
just the way that it works. Just the way that it works. Indy did score a set-piece goal against Pittsburgh for their first goal. And I would tend to agree with that. That's not worthy of a point to the spot. But it was Stanley feeding O'Brien for the first of 2 goals against the Hounds back on June 1st. This bending ball was not exactly the best hit by Quinn, however. He'll get a second crack at it with another corner kick. And you may have this memorized by now. Brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Check. Again, bending ball in. James Musa in a prone position. Edward Kizza. Effort by Ofemu. Turns into a throw-in for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds next to the corner flag. Musa joined the Indy 11 back on July 5th. Played the first 45 against Rhode Island. then did not play again until August because of injury. Musa, native of New Zealand, spent time with Sean McCauley when he was Minnesota United 4 years ago. But Musa has primarily played in this league for the last 10 years. Musa taking his time to rejoin the fray. So Indy will settle at the back. This match is brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments.
It's a nice overlapping run from White.
Good job by Rovera to dig in. But obviously Indy, with the man advantage, will be very much the aggressor in terms of picking up the press. And obviously it's kind of the reverse of what the advantage would be from a legs perspective because of the third match in 8 days and the travel involved.
You can see too how Pittsburgh's adjust their press. Usually they're relentless on that ball with numbers and blocking any kind of channel and lane out. And right now they know they got to play a man down for another 70 minutes. They're navigating this, waiting for the missed touch, waiting for the missed ball, and then they'll pounce.
White, ball for Mario Williams, a bit behind him. Foster making the run inside of the 18. Foster kept it in play. Now swept back to the middle of the park.
What pace.
The league spent time with Sacramento Republic with the Switchbacks. He was not cup tied. He did not appear in their lone U.S. Open Cup match against NYCFC 2, I should say. So he was able to play on Tuesday, played a good chunk of the second half in that match.
These are the ones, too, these moments where you start creeping in a little bit because possession's so easy because Pittsburgh's laying off. Start creeping in, guys start moving up a little bit. Then you become a little bit susceptible to the counterattack.
White, the giveaway. Kizza. Mertz with Williams flying back into play. Rovera. So here will be an area where Pittsburgh will commit to going forward. Rovera's ball. Again, nobody sitting their back post. That's where the numbers game starts to play a factor.
Yeah, great communication from Musa. He saw that it was over his head and was going to go to Stanley. Took a look around, let him know that he's got time and he can settle the ball.
Well, Tom Dock, the director of communications for Noah's Animal Hospitals, was presenting our Pups at the Pitch night, has been standing by waiting for the game to kind of allow him a chance to join the conversation. Let's bring him in now. Tom, welcome to the booth, and what has this evening been like for you?
It's been amazing, like always. We're here every home game with Orion Indy and Lord Kratos, the live mascots, to supplement Zeke being out there. But seeing all the other pups here today has just been incredible. Noah's is such a big part of the Central Indiana community. Been around for 42 years now.
I want to know how you talk the other team into also bringing dogs on the field. The home team is one thing. The Pittsburgh guys, they're mean, they're tough, they're burly. They were melting with those dogs in their hands on the way for the starting lineup.
Did you see those puppies? And even the older dogs. There were some geriatric dogs there that need homes.
Perfect night for the puppies to come out because this is a tough team. So you soften them up a little bit by putting a puppy in their hands. That's great strategy.
Tell us about Noah's Animal Hospitals.
Like I said, Noah's has been around since 1982, actually. And even though we've got 8 locations around Central Indiana, we're not a corporation. We're owned by one veterinarian, Dr. Mike Thomas. And we've got about 300 employees right now, and that's up from just 3 employees when Dr. Thomas started this in 1982.
These locations all in Indy, or some on the outside? So do you do farm animals too, or is it just small animals? And
Yeah, we just do dogs and cats and occasional exotic type pets. So we've got the whole circle of Indiana covered, or excuse me, Indianapolis covered. And then you've got one out in Greenfield and Hancock County, and then we've got one up in Noblesville. So we've got Hamilton County covered as well.
So
go ahead, Brad.
When you talk exotic animal, what are we talking, like Gila monsters, hedgehogs? What do we?
We do see hedgehogs actually quite often. Hopefully not too many Gila monsters, since they do have a little toxin to them, it's a little venom. But we'll see guinea pigs, we'll see chinchillas, we'll see reptiles, a lot of snakes, and a few birds here and there.
Great sliding tackle by Hayden White. Tom Dock from Noah's Animal Hospitals joining us here on the broadcast on My Indy TV and ESPN+. You've got a program called Domestic Animal Response Team. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is first in the nation, and we're super proud of it. So we partnered with the Indianapolis Fire Department, Emergency Medical Services, and Indy Cares over at the Indianapolis Animal Care Services facility. And so if somebody is in a vehicular accident with their pet, somebody has a house fire, and their pets are in that house fire, then we can go ahead and take care of those pets while the person gets themselves taken care of. Can you imagine your house burning down, you have nowhere to go, and the only places won't take pets, or maybe you're in the hospital. And so we go ahead and we take care of those pets until the owner's back on their feet.
That's great.
Tell us about the lives that the two live mascots of the Indy 11 lead when they're not, air quotes, working at home matches. What's life like for them?
Life is pretty easy for them at home. Big dogs like Mastiffs are pretty lazy. We've got about an acre that we live on, so they walk to the back of the property and back, and they're done for the day, about 20 minutes.
Now I know why Brad calls me a Mastiff. I understand that completely. With that, as Hayden White is getting checked out by Josh Frankham, let's wrap this up. For more information about Noah's Animal Hospitals, what's the best way to go about it?
You can go to noahshospitals.com, go ahead and contact us there, or call any of our locations around Indianapolis, and the numbers are at noahshospitals.com.
Tom, thank you so much. And again,
my pleasure,
it's
guys.
not just tonight. It is an every home match event that we see you. Great to have you in the booth tonight.
Thanks. Have a great night.
Tom Dock, again, our special guest, and a little nervy when it's Hayden White, the newest member of the Indy 11, that is the player that has to be checked, and this kind of serves as the hydration break. And let's talk about temperatures. It is still summer warm. It is still muggy. It is nowhere near as oppressively hot as it has been here all week. The storms came through about this time last night, rained again this morning. So we've had better weather nights, but we frankly had a whole lot worse.
Yeah, it was 97 when I was driving home yesterday. And today, coming in, 83 degrees. Much better for playing conditions.
You know what will help you feel better, whether it's 83 or 97?
Yes, I do.
It's Mom Water. Refreshing fruit-infused vodka water with zero carbonation, zero sugar, zero carbs, and only 90 calories. Mom Water is the perfect game day drink. Found in Indiana, now a proud sponsor of the Indy 11. Please drink and enjoy responsibly. So again, Indy has been playing a man up for the last 20 minutes. Hogan, the yellow card that was turned into a red for the high boot against Sebastian Guenzati. White's touch was a bit off. Benafemu able to bail him out. And Musa. Benafemu has been playing outside as right back for most of this season, and really in a back three since he came here from Miami in mid-April. But because of the injuries to Dees Pay and Chapman Page, now it's he and Musa that are the center back pairing tonight. Just how different is that responsibility from where he's normally been playing, Brad?
Well, you look at the way that Indy's played, with whether it's Mines on the outside or early on with Budati or Neidlinger recently. You've got those wings that come back and they help out. So, the translation is you're not on an island and then having to have cover behind you. You pretty much got your support of your teammates in those runs.
Lawrence Whatton rotates back.
And you'll see through this ball movement across the back line, the discipline of Pittsburgh, just as a unit, just shifting as the ball moves. And then if there's a bad touch, a bad ball, now you start seeing a guy engage.
Sebastian Guenzati. That's Dougie Martinez. Martinez did not play against Las Vegas. Guenzati went the entire 90 minutes against Vegas. He saw limited minutes against Sporting Kansas City. Did Seva. Here's Aiden Stanley. Still team high in terms of assists with 7 in league play. Had 2 more in Open Cup action. And Wotton, who always plays well beyond his age as a professional rookie, draws the foul.
You look at how he was being closed down with his back to play. He just felt it. Little touch to move that ball into space for him to run onto.
Mario Williams, the leave. Quinn Williams hits it, but right at Eric Dick. And Romario is in need of a goal. He has not had one yet since joining the Indy 11. He made his debut back on June 22nd against Orange County. Tonight's match brought to us by McGowan Insurance Group and Auto Owners Insurance. They have teamed up to make tailored insurance policies for your family. Romario went the second 45 against Orange County a couple of months ago. Had an assist in his second game against Rhode Island on July 5th. Foul against Pittsburgh. But Romario has struggled as of late. And again, he is a guy, we are hydration breaking it at the 30-minute mark. But he is a player that, again, has quite the pedigree. 58 goals in the championship, 15 last year with the Switchbacks, and he's looking to kind of get off the schneid at some point here for the Indy 11.
Yeah, and they need that. They need that other scorer right now. You know, it's been Blake Heavy and Guenzotti popping in here and there, and, you know, some late game heroics from Elliott Collier. But between Martinez, Romario, and now Foster, you got to get somebody that starts heating up at this time as you're getting into that playoff push.
Fans, eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream. Rep your team and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Well, if you're just joining us, you see that little red square on the Pittsburgh scorebug? No bueno from a Pittsburgh perspective. It was Pat Hogan who was initially given a yellow card in the 5th minute. And after a minute deliberation by our referee, Eligio Araguin, the yellow card became a red. Let's take a look. And again, it's the side angle that's a bit more damning from Hogan's perspective. And after a conversation continued, the yellow was wiped away, the red was issued, but Pittsburgh, as they typically do, tremendous defensive organization, and Indy hasn't cracked the code just yet.
And when you look at how they came in, it was a 3-5-2 that kind of morphs into a 5-3-2. And so what they've done is they've just taken those 2 wings, populated them back into that back line, playing with the back line of 5, and then just leaving 1 up top. So you still got what you came in with in your midfield and in your back line, and now you just need an opportunity, whether it's a restart, whether it's a turnover and you get out in transition, counterattack moment. You just need one of those things, because you can grind this thing out to 0-0 till late in the match, but you need one of those moments to pull yourself back.
0-0, you say, about the Pittsburgh Riverhounds?
I did say that.
I'm counting the amount of 0-0 draws that Pittsburgh has played so far this season. Would you like to wager a guess how many 0-0 draws they have had so far? By the way, they have played 26 times so far this year, just for the point of order.
Because you're asking the question, I'm going to say 1.
Higher.
2.
A bit higher.
3.
Keep going.
Seriously.
Seriously, yes. Yeah.
I know they can get the shutout.
Right. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
The answer is 6.
Good night.
And there's just been a few of those over the years between Indy and Pittsburgh as well.
I think that's the closest I've come on one of your trivia questions.
Started at 1 and got to 6. Sounds about right. Ball played to the side by Luke Biasi. Was on this week's USL Championship Team of the Week. We'll have more about that coming up at halftime. It was deflected off of Doug Martinez, apparently, so a throw-in coming for the Hounds. Martinez and Guenzotti not on the same page. Of course, this match brought to us by Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Is a bit of a giveaway. Foster couldn't keep it at his feet. And frankly, any ball that direction is a good one for Pittsburgh. And last year, Pittsburgh finished with the most points in the USL Championship during the regular season, but lost to Detroit in the opening round of the playoffs. And Martinez, and he's going to get a card for that. Seemed to be a bit too much. He's saying shoulder to shoulder. Official says no. So yellow shown to Douglas Martinez of the Indy 11.
There's one thing that Indy has to stay away from is they can't get a second yellow or a red and neutralize that advantage. So you got to be careful. Can't be picking up stuff on situations that don't require a card.
5th of the season for Douglas. Only one player for the Indy 11 is in danger of hitting that yellow card accumulation trigger in terms of sitting for a match. And that player is not playing tonight in Callum Chapman-Page. Martinez told to back up his throw a little bit. Obviously, the assignment for Musa and Afemu changed dramatically in the 6th minute.
The one thing you can't have happen in this is that human nature fact of, okay, we're up a man, so we dial back the intensity or the sharpness a bit because we've got that advantage. And then the passes are a little bit lazier, the runs aren't creative, and so you got to stay away from that.
Here's Stanley. His 9 assists tied for the team record set by Solomon Asante a season ago. In the 11 years of the Indy 11, no player has had double-digit assists in a single season. The next assist for Stanley would be the first. Stanley on the overlapping run. Osamanu does just enough to deflect it away from the former Duke Blue Devil.
And that's one of those moments, too. You take a player like Aiden Stanley. You've been referencing how good he is with the ball as a playmaker when he gets forward, but he's a terrific defender. And so in those times that Aiden Stanley gets forward and gets into the attacking third to create something, you can see Pittsburgh's different when they win that ball. It was quick. It was boom, boom. Let's see. While they got a man out of place, while their shape is not perfect defensively, can we get in and create some problems?
By the way, I do want to note that Aiden, and Hayden are all in the lineup tonight for the Indy 11.
Noted.
And on that note, let's thank our friends at Dormakaba for every place that matters. White.
Nice
touch. Martinez, perfectly weighted ball. Martinez timed the run properly. Great tackle. Well done by Biasi. Mertz lets it roll through. Advantage is being played here. Biasi was fouled well earlier in the play.
Good moment for Pittsburgh. Can it make Indy spend some energy defending right now?
The knock forward. E.J. Johnson racing to it, but could not keep it in play. No Keziah Sterling this evening. Can be said for Langston Blackstock. So Johnson gets the nod up top along with Edward Kizza. James Musa continues to labor a little bit. Indy does not have, well, they have an extra player on the bench tonight because they are allowed to dress as a home match an extra academy player or two. And Logan Neidlinger, while he has played in the last 8 matches for the Indy 11, is still an academy player. And so they really get an extra rotational player off the bench. He is going to start to warm up in case James Musa cannot go on. Musa's trying to soldier on as best he can.
Yeah, important to get to halftime. Then you can see, is this something you can push through and it's not going to affect your quality on the field, or is this something we got to make a sub on?
Musa played 3 games with the Switchbacks earlier this season before joining the Indy 11, and I don't think he's long for this match. Martinez trying to hold up Eric Dick. Right to the edge of the 18, able to snare it.
Good read. that bouncing ball, it's always tough when you come off your line as a keeper because it just takes a touch underneath it to play it over you. So it's gutsy to come off in that moment. But if he does it and that ball settles into the path of Dougie Martinez, it's 1v1.
Eric does know this building well from playing here for the Indy 11. Frankly, he would have played college soccer in this building when Butler played against then IUPUI and now IU Indianapolis. Martinez with the pressure. A win coming here for the Riverhounds. Of course, tonight's match is airing on My Indy TV. And a reminder to watch our sister station, Wish TV. Your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. You're going to see Josh O'Brien also loosening as well. Josh got the nod against Vegas last week. His brother Ethan was back briefly off of his loan, but Ethan has now been returned to Huntsville of MLS Next Pro. Max Schneider the same to Union Omaha.
That's what you get from Robbie Martzell. 100%, all out, all the time.
Rovira. Biasi. Here's Mertz. Pittsburgh kid, played at the University of Michigan. Did briefly spend time with Atlanta United too, but he's Pittsburgh through and through, and that's going to be a foul on Musa.
Yeah, didn't need it. Didn't need it.
That will be a restart in the dangerous of positions. Just outside of the 18, Hunter Salt has to fight the wall and the setting sun simultaneously.
You got Johnson with his back to goal on a tough ball to handle. Nobody making that run in behind him. And you trade that for a terrific opportunity for the Riverhounds.
And not a whole lot of contact there, but as we talked about, when you get a red so early, the whistle naturally starts to tilt in the other direction. Just human nature.
There's a little jersey tug and wrap around the body enough to cause Johnson to go down.
Griffin, Johnson, Mertz having a committee meeting over this one. One touch, doesn't get through the wall. Foster and Walty. Aiden Quinn didn't get the clearance on that he wanted to, but it will be last touch by Pittsburgh, and an exhale from the Indy 11 fans and bench.
Well designed restart, moving it just enough to make the wall irrelevant and open up the far post.
The final minutes of this half are brought to us by Sherwin-Williams, the official paint sponsor of the Indy 11 soccer team. Sherwin-Williams is the partner to the pro. Suber. Mertz. Johnson. And then Musa. Good quick restart by Musa. When you're a man up, all those restarts should be quick. Martinez onside. Hayden White. White the overlapping run, but again just a bit too strong. It will be a throw and not a corner coming here for the Indy 11.
And one thing you see consistently out of Pittsburgh is when you've got a man in space with the ball and a pressing defender, there is always a help defender, always a cover defender coming underneath it.
I thought it was a throw. Clearly it's not. It's a corner brought to us by Wilson Kehoe-Winningham. Working quickly. Eric Dick did not get the clearance he wanted to, but there was a foul behind the play. Mertz ends up on the turf, and that squelches the opportunity for the boys in blue.
What a great serve.
Dick taking his time, letting his teammates cycle up the pitch. I want to welcome a brand new sponsor to Indy 11 Soccer, Pabst Blue Ribbon, because you deserve a blue ribbon. And as I look to my broadcast partner, I'm thinking, you know, a great way to celebrate a new sponsor would be to have a fresh, cold PBR here in the broadcast booth. It's your halftime assignment.
For once, I agree with you. I think that's a great call.
Doors right back there as soon as we get to our first break. Bit of a giveaway here, but far enough away where Pittsburgh should be able to recover.
And the Riverhounds have to stay away from that. You know, when you get into those moments where you've got a little bit of time and you've got the transitional space, it cannot be a turnover.
I'll start to glance toward the fourth official. See exactly how much time we'll have before business officially closes for half number one. If you're Sean McCauley, how you feeling about things right now?
You're not happy that it's 0-0 at this point. You know, you've been a man up. I think you've done a nice job of holding possession, but you know, Pittsburgh does such a great job of closing windows that you've not been able to pull them apart enough. And so, you know, maybe a couple balls out wide, draw some defenders in, and it's got to be a quick ball into the space that they vacate.
5 minutes. And we had the yellow to red discussion. We had the hydration break. We had another injury timeout. So lots of time left to go. Indy's been playing a man of the good for the last 40. All poked away from Johnson. Musa will slip it back to the middle of the park. Here's Walty. Kizza the target. Musa the outstanding read.
Great turn.
Wotton plays the long distance ball. Eric Dick took no chances and hits this all the way back to Hunter Salt.
Playing far off his line, reading the game very, very well.
10 clean sheets for Eric this year. That's second only to the great Vitiello in Sacramento, who's got 11. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL Access every Tuesday evening. Hear live matches from the championship, Major League Soccer, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 in the new Sirius XM app. I think Serie A matches even make it these days too. Sirius XM FC 157. Stanley. Good job by Walty just to throw that off enough, and Stanley couldn't keep it in play. It is a goal kick.
One of the, you know, you hate to say that a red card works in your advantage, but you know, the fact that the Riverhounds have had to pretty much just play in this defensive third and wait for moments. There is no space for guys like Malik Foster to get into isolation where they can use their pace to get around players. So that the way that they're playing right now has neutralized some of those. Now, you know, can Indy find ways to get him the ball early before Pittsburgh can drop into that block?
Well, it's going to be a foul against Edward Kizza. Or if it's the fact that Kizza's sitting on 7 goals on the season. And White going to require a trainer for a second time, and this time it's going to be a knock to the head that White suffered. Say more about Edward Kizza. From Uganda, moved to the States at the age of 14. Played his college soccer at Pittsburgh. 3rd year with the Hounds. But again, has really taken off this season. And obviously much more of a need because of the absence of Albert Dikwa, last year's Golden Boot winner, who now plays for Rhode Island.
I think some of that sort of happens with that. You know, he wasn't ready last year to be the guy, you know, but you get to watch how Dikwa plays and how he dominates the league, and you pull little bits and pieces of his game, you add them to yours, and now when you've got the opportunity to be that guy, you grab it and you're leading the team in goals.
Of course, this year's Golden Boot winner, or the presumptive Golden Boot winner,
unreal,
because of the landslide lead he has. He's going to be on the move at the end of the season too. We'll tell you more about that in our news and notes segment of halftime. White being waved back on. 90 seconds left to go before halftime. What? And that's a foul. Griffin, the guilty party. Anything you change from a tactic standpoint for Sean McCauley in half two?
I don't think the tactics need to change. I just think the pace of how you're playing needs to. Pittsburgh's not going to open up very often. And so when those moments happen, they've just got to be exploited at a quicker pace.
Foster, Guenzati, White. The closing seconds of this one. Martinez's ball for Foster. A bit errant. Those guys have played together before. They were teammates in Sacramento for a couple of seasons. Romario Williams the touch. Hayden White trying to get it through to Douglas Martinez. Couldn't do it. Now we'll glance towards our referee to see exactly how much additional time we've got left in the half. That'll likely just about do it. There's a Pittsburgh player down behind the play that's just getting back into position now. Biasi will wait on him to restart. We'll hear from head coach Sean McCauley of the Indy 11 momentarily. It's Rivera, the player that took a bit of a bump. What? Oh, another violation.
It'd be a horrible way for this half to end if you're Indy. And if you're Pittsburgh, if you're able to nick one here, oh, that conversation at the half, it's going to be, look, no separation in the final third. Keep everything compact for us.
You got to think really you're one clearance away here if you're Indy of ending this one. Rivera looking back post. Musa got ahead to it, and that's it. So Pittsburgh, as expected, even a man down, they're a tough shell to crack. At the half, it's Indy 0 and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0, and as he always does, makes a beeline to talk to us, the head coach of the Indy 11, and Sean McCauley. Obviously, your game plan completely changed, Sean, 5 minutes in. Now, what's the second half look like for you playing a man up?
We have to keep the ball. We've got to wear them down a little bit. I think the biggest thing for us in the second half will be our counter press as well, because we're going to give the ball away because we've got so many players behind the ball.
A little bit of a whistle. Players separated, Sean. You're okay. Nothing to worry about there.
Okay.
Let me ask you question number two. You've got some significant cards to kind of play off the bench in half number two. What sort of role can those guys play for you in the final 45?
Yeah, I can see us making changes just for energy as well. Hayden White's done really well for his first game, but obviously with the travel and everything else, I might look to change that. But I think I'm going to probably change the system of play a little bit. I want to put another player up front and have Malik, who's been excellent in the first half, playing underneath, and have the freedom to go and try and make the game and try and run with the ball from central areas, because we all know he can do it wide, but if we can't shift the ball quick enough from one side to the other, he never gets the opportunity to have space, so we're going to try and play him through the middle.
Thank you, Coach. Talk to you after the match.
Thank you.
Sean McCauley, as always, gracious with his time. We'll talk to him post-game as well. 45 minutes in, neither side has a goal yet to show for their effort. Then again, it's Indy and Pittsburgh. Goals can tend to be scarce. Halftime show when we come back to the mic in downtown Indianapolis on MyIndyTV and ESPN+.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
The fans enthralled by Frisbee dogs at halftime. 0-0 between Indy and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Well, 7 days ago, the Indy 11 went out to play the Las Vegas Lights. And again, Indy handled the match a bit differently, knowing the fact that they had to turn around and play in the U.S. Open Cup semifinals some 72 hours later. So it was a rotated squad, but a squad that had some bite. Sebastian Guenzati, his 5th goal of the season. Goal number 75 of his USL Championship career. Elliot Collier with the rare start and goal. He has scored, by the way, in both of his starts this year. Both assists belong to Jack Blake. However, the go-ahead goal happened just before halftime to make it 3-2 Vegas, and that is the way it would stay in the second 45 minutes as well. So the gentleman that scored said goal and Valentin Noel made the team of the week, as did Jack Blake, as did Edward Kizza and Luke Biasi, who are playing in this match. But the young man that we have highlighted is the player of the week in Nick Marcanic, and he, as of yesterday, knows this will be, for now, his last season in the USL Championship, because he is being moved to the Segunda Division in Spain at the end of the season.
And I love the way that this deal worked out for him, for Charleston, and for his future club. Everybody came to agreement, let him finish this season, not just for the Golden Boot, but, you know, they've got a legitimate chance to win. And when you spend that much time with your teammates, there's some emotion in it. So the fact that he can finish this season is fantastic.
Not bad for the former Northern Illinois Husky. Alex Tambakis, well, he is getting close to Evan Newton in terms of the all-time saves list. Has a 50th career shutout. Again, he is first in terms of career saves. Alex Tambakis, what a great job he has done over many years and many stops these days with New Mexico United. But our final bit of news and notes, again, recapping the historic cup run for the Indy 11. 4 wins, 2 away from home. Yes, it ended on Tuesday night. It will be Sporting Kansas City and LAFC in Los Angeles on September the 25th. Sporting Kansas City will go for a 5th Open Cup championship.
Yeah, you can make a quarterfinal. That's something that's great. But semifinal is historic.
Congratulations to the boys in blue. Yet to have the breakthrough tonight. 0-0 between Indy and Pittsburgh. More halftime show comes your next on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. He's such a good boy.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
This is the beginning. This is a first practice, a first video session, a first pregame talk. This is a first ticket, a first scarf raise, a first kickoff. This is a tapestry of clubs and players and communities inspired by those who blazed the trail for women's sports, ready to inspire the next generation. We are the USL Super League. We're part of the movement, and this is our moment.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The numbers are brilliant here for Phoenix. Can they find their second right there? Drops it to Lasso. Lasso gives it a go. What is the Lasso?
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name was Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me.
Our look around the USL Championship continues again for the Indy 11. Here is the table. They have been as high as third. They are currently in fifth. But this is where I point out, from 4 through 11, 9 points separate these teams. The only bad news for Pittsburgh, other than being a man down for the remainder of this match, they're also a match or two down. They have a bye week coming up in September. They've only got 7 matches left to play after tonight. Again, a win tonight, huge for Indy. They frankly have matches coming up with Pittsburgh, North Carolina, and Hartford. So some separation is possible if Indy can get some momentum going.
Yeah, this time of year is so exciting because you've got, every game means so much. And it means so much because of what you do earlier in the season to put yourself in this position.
And by the way, for Indy, just one more midweek match. They're playing every Saturday night the remainder of the way. Again, next week they will be on the road against Hartford Athletic. With that, we will exit stage left. It's hard to compete with the Frisbee Dogs anyway. Back in a moment, 0-0 between Indy and Pittsburgh as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on MyIndy TV and ESPN+.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
When your cat's a me, then your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
When the online trends keep getting worse.
And you lost your keys in the metaverse.
Now your right swipe just went left on you.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
At Security Federal, our flexible banking solutions mean your financial future has never been brighter. Our business options will keep you one step ahead of the competition, and the communities we serve can depend on us to be there when it counts. At Security Federal Savings Bank, flexibility means everything because it's all about you. Now offering free business and personal checking. Call or visit us online today.
Our look at scores from all across the league. Detroit defeated Hartford. They are at 1-1 at halftime. Oakland a 1-0 lead against New Mexico. And a Wednesday night final saw the Switchbacks get a 3-1 win against Memphis. Rhode Island and Birmingham 0-0. And how about that? North Carolina a 2-1 lead against Lou City. And again, all of those matchups, because really only Miami is off the back in the East, all those potentially between playoff teams. So with that, here is the upcoming schedule in terms of matches coming up later this evening. The next match for Indy is at Hartford next Saturday. And we've got another match to tell you about, because coming up on Friday night, September the 6th, we've got a match on ESPN2. That would be Phoenix Rising playing host to FC Tulsa. That is your next chance to watch the championship on a national stage. A pair of Western Conference matchups. Teams are fighting to stay in the playoff hunt. Again, that is next Friday at 11 o'clock on ESPN2. So with that, let's get to highlights from half number one. Brad, as those fly by, your thoughts as to what we need to see from this team in Indy to start half number two.
We touched on it late in the half, and Coach McCauley said the exact same thing. You've got to find a way to get Malik Foster into pockets where he's able to use his speed. He wasn't able to do it on the wing. You could see the group defending and Pittsburgh getting so many players behind the ball. Now they're going to move him to the middle a little bit just to see if that can open up some more opportunities for him.
As has been the case, well, in this league for a long time, a lot of those best opportunities for Indy, or in the old days Tampa Bay, belonged to Sebastian Guenzati when the ball was on his foot.
Right. That was a nice look that he had from the top of the box, one that he'd like back. Still was a great strike from him.
Possession, 73-27. You would expect that when one team had the man advantage for some 45 minutes, but not that big of a difference in terms of shots nor shots on goal. No substitutions for the Indy 11. So James Musa will continue on for now. Hayden White will continue on for now. For what it is worth, Cam Lindley has his kit on. He is ready to come on when needed. So he might be the first substitution waved aboard for Coach Sean McCauley. Edward Kizup stands over the ball and is waiting for the thumbs up. Gets it now. At what point does a point become a good thing for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Brad?
I think if you offered it to them now, I think they would take it. Now, when it gets later in this game, if it's still 0-0, I expect them to see if they can't find a ball over the top to Kizza and see if he can make some magic happen.
Throw in coming for the Indy 11 in front of their own bench. Stanley, again, accused of picking up a little too much real estate. And this time we'll go backwards to find James Musa. And the options off the bench are plentiful for Sean McCauley. Elliot Collier, Tyler Gibson, Cam Lindley, Josh O'Brien, Logan Neidlinger, Augie Williams. Some significant quality available off the bench tonight. Musa, a little too much on that. Those players available off the bench of note for Pittsburgh. Kennardo Forbes. You could have a significant debate as to whose record has been set to the point where you're not sure if it'll ever be caught. The goal scoring record. The only player to have triple-digit goals in this league, of course, used to play for the Indy 11, that being Dane Kelly. But Forbes is well clear of those in terms of the assist record. And all the players that are chasing him are current players in the league.
I would add in Bob Lilly's record as well, one that may not be beaten.
In terms of?
Wins.
Fair point. What? To Hayden White. White's pass a bit errant. But Indy then gets it back. Foster springs Martinez. Martinez bending ball. Cross was blocked. It'll be a corner kick brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
Good little combination between Foster and Martinez to create this opportunity.
By the way, speaking of records, as Aiden Quinn goes to stand next to the corner flag, he climbed back into third for career minutes played in the USL Championship.
Great ball. And that's missing almost an entire season.
What? Bouncing ball. Musa will track down. Foster, well done by Biasi. He's been outstanding. Foster, good job to dig in and slow down E.J. Johnson.
Johnson's just using his body.
And everything for Pittsburgh is risk calculation. How many bodies are you willing to throw forward playing a man down? You saw this at halftime possession, 73-27. Flag stays down. Martinez, well done. And now again, numbers were charged forward. Wotton plays it to Williams, who's off.
Brilliant from Pittsburgh's back line. They saw it. They saw that Indy was going to look to go for that ball over the top. And as a unit, they stepped, pulled them off sides. Williams didn't see it.
By the way, you'll take a look at the last chance for the Indy 11. Just again, the timing of when Wotton could potentially find Romario Williams. By the way, the Sports This Match brought to us by Dormacaba, for every place that matters. Quinn gets just enough of a touch to it. And then Mertz inadvertently plays it away from his teammate. By the way, Aiden Quinn third in terms of career minutes played. Bram, I think you can take a pretty good guess as to who number one might be. Ball in, Guenzati back post, but didn't have enough on it as Eric Dick is able to snag it. Want to venture a guess as to who the all-time leader in minutes played in the USL Championship might be?
I would say, because I think he's on top in his games as well as Forbes.
That is correct. Opportunity here that Benefemu.
It's well done.
Quickly knocks away. By the way, 22,153 minutes for Bernardo Forbes, 288 matches for Bernardo Forbes. And the assumption is he will add on to that at some point in time this evening. Foster.
That's the ball they wanted.
Around Osamanu. Inside of the 18. The poke that goes all the way through. Martinez didn't hit the ball the way he wanted to. But again, we'll learn the corner. Corner brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
That was the ball they wanted into Foster's feet. He flicks it into space and is able to turn the Jets on to get in behind Pittsburgh's back line.
Sports This Match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Short corner. Wotton, the chip. Thought Wotton might have a hit like he did against Rhode Island for his lone goal of the season. Was blast away, tried to find a teammate instead. Quinn, Williams, not on target.
I love that thought, though. Love that thought. Ball comes out to the top of the 18. It's just a little flick into the box to the back post, because sometimes when you play that ball into that corner, you got bodies from Pittsburgh rushing out to apply pressure to the ball, and they leave their mark. And so that little flick into the six could cause some problems.
Your Central Indiana Ford dealers are a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Martinez. Now White. At the edge of the 18, opportunity here, and White will give the corner. A well-timed tackle, but again, a corner now for Pittsburgh. Brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Pittsburgh buying a little time here to move some players forward.
Here's that moment where you look for Pittsburgh. If they can stay dialed in on this one, beat man to the ball, they've got a chance to change the complexion of this game. And for Indy, if they come up with the ball and you got Foster with this much space.
Mertz sends it in. Martinez. Well, it won't be the full break counter, if you will. You avoid the scoring threat for the opposing team.
That was one I thought Johnson could have done a better job of sprinting out to that ball and collecting it. Went out a little bit soft. Martinez catches him.
Fans, show your England and Pride, your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. He's been playing with this advantage since the 6th minute of the match. Hogan was shown yellow, which became red. Walty heads it back to Eric Dick. And again, frankly, Eric has not had to do anything of the spectacular tonight because of how good the defensive organization has been in front of him.
Think about that. He's, outside of reading the game and coming off his line and having some, close moments at the top of the box, he hasn't been asked to make that save because the way his team is bunkered down in front of him.
He's had more sprints than saves at this point. Now Indy will turn up the wick. Musa, the toe poke back to Hunter Salt. Salt did not hit the way he wanted to, but found a teammate in Hayden White. Biasi with the close down and manages to keep it in play. And White, we play on. On the cross, looking back post. Walty. Bending ball off the post. The follow-up volley claimed by Salt.
What a ball.
Now again, here's the launch with Pittsburgh having thrown numbers forward. Aiden Quinn wants it. Guenzati. Williams, the overlapping run. Eric Dick sends it away.
Big save. He had 2 of those against Birmingham. Enzo Martinez in the box. 2 great point-blank saves.
And Eric looking for his 11th clean sheet of the season. Indy looking for a foul, won't get it.
Hey, it was a great save by Eric Dick, but a great combination from Indy 11 to finally spring a player through.
Counter here for Pittsburgh. Indy going to go to the substitution well for the first time. Mertz charging forward. Johnson. Bending ball for Johnson, does not get through. Good read by Hayden White. And Martinez turns on the Jets and gets there in time. He's got 3v3 at the back with Guenzati joining the fray. Foster picks out Romario Williams, but sends it behind him. Augie Williams. Looks like Josh O'Brien. Maybe Cam Lindley. But definitively, and now Cam Lindley will be joining that group as well. So 3 sets of fresh legs will come on once they can make their way to the 4th official. You would assume O'Brien would be in for Hayden White. Musa under pressure from Mertz. Does not take the chance. Sends it sideways. Fan Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Here's Walty. Mertz, Ofemu, Quinn on the sprint. And Aiden Quinn plays it up to Guinzotti. Can Suber get there? He does. It is going to be a throw for the Indy 11, but of all the possible results, that's about as good as it could have been for Pittsburgh.
Oh, I think, if you've got Foster on the other end of that and you can just lay it out into that space, it's a different scenario.
Here comes the triumvirate of new Indy 11 players to head towards the fourth official. Give and go between Quinn and Williams. What? There's White. Martinez on the cross. Stanley poked away by Walty. The names change, the results don't when it comes to Pittsburgh.
They're just so disciplined.
And Whatton, clean challenge. And Ofemu will shepherd that back to Hunter Sult. Sports Tech HQ brings us this portion of tonight's match. Indiana winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthebold.com. And at some point, both teams will start to get closer to the tank being empty. All the wear and tear on Indy this week, at Vegas, at Sporting Kansas City, and now home. And obviously Pittsburgh chasing the game, being a man down for the last 55 minutes of game action.
Great ball.
Kizza will stretch to the corner flag to track it down.
You can see Pittsburgh starting to send some numbers. They recognize this is a good moment for them.
Frankly, they'll stand on it for a minute, too, if Indy will let them. Just to buy a bit of a breather. Walty the flick, and again, nobody is there to make that corresponding run. So 61st minute. Of course, this match brought to you by the Denny Companies. Tearing down the past so you can build the future. 11 fans, your next chance to see your team here in action will be on September the 14th. One of two home matches here in the month of September. Indy11.com/tickets. 317-685-1100. Substitution time. Hayden White has given his last. Josh O'Brien will come on to replace him. Josh, who scored a goal against Pittsburgh last time these two teams got together. Lawrence Whatton is done for the night. Cam Lindley will come in to replace him. The rare substitutes role for Cam Lindley. And Sebastian Guinzotti, well, I think I'm safe to share with you now, entered the lineup when Jack Blake was unable to go in tonight's match. So Seba goes from coming off the bench to playing 60 hard minutes. He will exit. And again, you go from a 70-plus goal scorer in the league to a 60-plus goal scorer in the league. An embarrassment of riches for the Indy 11.
No kidding. And now you got, brought in a little bit more pace at this point and some fresh legs too.
Be sure to find out more about the Indy 11 on YouTube. by scanning the QR code that you see on your screen. Match highlights, training content, Jack Blake's podcast, Coaches Show podcast, and so much more. Two substitutions to work with remaining for the Indy 11. All of them remaining for Pittsburgh. Here's O'Brien. O'Brien getting his first professional run on the stage this year after playing both England and Scotland at a very young age. Here's Augie Williams. Stanley couldn't slide it past Walty.
Yeah, noticeable change in the tempo of the decisions from Indy 11, looking to move that ball quicker through the middle, bring a pocket of players in, move it to the other side.
Here's Martinez. Nothing going there. Way too easy of a read for Eric Dick.
Great buildup. You know, you moved it into the center. Pittsburgh collapses a bit in the center. You knock that ball out wide. Just got to have a better finish on that serve.
Tonight's match brought to us by the Morales Group. Staffing agencies find jobs. We build futures. Foster trying to find Augie Williams, but Osamanu does just enough to keep Augie Williams at bay. Augie, 3 goals in Open Cup play, 5 in league action. He's been on that number for quite some time. Pittsburgh will bring 2 players to the bench to enter them in the contest. One of them may have the best mullet in league history. Williams, Osamanu, and it's deemed to be a handball against Augie Williams.
Yeah, you can see the strategy right now. Try and just drop a ball over the back line and see if Augie Williams can collect it on the other side.
That is Bradley Sample. And since he played at the University of Louisville, that is officially a Kentucky waterfall that he is sporting.
He's the only one in the building with the mullet, and it used to be the other way around. It used to be that that was the only thing.
Foul against Robbie Mertz. By the way, the mulletless Pierre Caillet will be entering the match as well. And a yellow just shown to Pittsburgh. Second yellow of the match, or second card, I should say, of the match, given to a Pittsburgh player. The other, the obvious red.
You can see the frustration in Mertz. It did look like a clean tackle. As hard as that kid plays all the time, there is frustration when you do make an effort play like this, win the ball, and get called.
Well, oftentimes between these two teams, it just takes one, or one is all that is in it. Think back to Tyler Pasher's wonder goal in the COVID season of 2020. I think Mike Watts said Pasher for a full 49 seconds at the end of that goal, that ESPN2 match. And that clearance into the Pittsburgh bench. So subs will be waved on here. Sample coming on for Edward Kizzup. Obviously not the night, he was anticipating, given how things changed 5 minutes in. And Rovira will be exiting for Pierre Caillet. Caillet has played in 9 matches, just 201 minutes. Has neither a goal nor an assist on the season. Caillé, as you may expect with that last name, is from France, from Le Mans, in fact. Last played for New England Revolution 2 in MLS Next Pro. That is an area that most teams in this league, you know, kind of mine talent, especially Pittsburgh has a lot of players that last year played in Next Pro.
If you're Pittsburgh and Coach Lilly, you're thinking to yourself, you know, we can navigate another 10, 12 minutes and keep this score line. We may change tactics a little bit as far as how many bodies we're willing to send forward.
Sports This Match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Musa wants the ball switched to his side. He likes to keep it on the right flank. Dougie Martinez, Caillé, sliding effort, can't get there in time. Corner kick coming, brought to us by Wilson Kehoe, winning hand.
Great serve. Ball just dropped over the back line.
And it's Aiden Quinn that will take it, so he is taking over those duties from Aiden Stanley. Cam Lindley can serve a ball quite well from that spot as well. Bending ball in, never got to Eric Dick. Quinn and Mertz dig in. And it's Mertz that'll come out of there with it. Mertz amongst the handful of players in this league that sometimes doesn't have the best stats, but you just know he's one of the best players on the pitch every night. Aaron Malloy is the same way down in Charleston.
Yeah.
Here's Stanley. On the cross, and gets all the way through. Augie Williams could not get to it. And again, Johnson now with Kiz out of the lineup. It is EJ's job to give chase. Played that well off the Indy 11 player and Cam Lindley. Right idea, looking for Stanley, just didn't get to him. Lindley, Martinez, and just stood up and disposed of. That's Biasi. Martinez remains down. And with the numbers a bit more level, Pittsburgh will go on the attack, and Lindley takes the very cynical and tactical foul and will draw yellow, knowing his team was on skates.
You know, both teams right now have to like the flavor of this game. If you're Indy, you're moving the ball faster. You're getting the ball out wide, creating opportunities with that ball over or through to your outside players. If you're Pittsburgh, you're doing a great job of navigating that and then finding some great transitional opportunities going forward.
The other end, Martinez. Trying to draw contact and never got a look from our referee. Here's some space for Sample. Cuts it back, but again, nobody's making that run. There have been 2 or 3 occasions where 11v11, that's the absolute right ball. And that person right now is not there for Pittsburgh on the field.
Well, the tough part is, you know, you're spending so much energy to get yourself to the top of the box. When you have it, sometimes you just got to pull the trigger and see what happens.
Williams the giveaway. Williams the foul. Advantage being played. And then a foul given to Romario Williams.
These are the equalizing moments of the game. You know, it doesn't matter if you got 10 players to their 11. Here's the moment where you can drive a dangerous ball in.
No doubt there's a foul there. Frustration release for Romario. This match is brought to us by Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Logan Neidlinger has made his way to the Indy 11 bench. In the first league match he's appeared as a sub in a while. He had started the last 4 they had played. We saw him in the second half against Sporting Kansas City as well. Ball headed down and in, and Pittsburgh is in front. Playing a man down for nearly 70 minutes, the Riverhounds have taken the lead.
What a strike. My goodness. Great ball served in. And then brilliant. I love that ball when you don't think you can put it on frame with any kind of pace and be dangerous, to head that ball back across the box and give somebody else a chance. It's a great serve.
Let's take a look.
What a finish.
So Danny Griffin gets the goal.
What a finish. Hunter Solta screened by 2 defenders. Griffin just gets a perfect strike on the ball.
4th goal of the season for Griffin. Neidlinger comes on, replaces James Musa. And now Indy is chasing the game just to get a point, where they've been playing a man up for 70 minutes.
Well, the difficulty right now is Pittsburgh got rewarded. They started coming out of their shell a little bit more in these last 10 to 15 minutes and creating some opportunities. Now they don't have to. The only time you break shape, the only time that you start exposing yourself defensively, is if it is a 100% guaranteed great opportunity.
So Neidlinger offers a fresh set of legs. It'll slide Stanley a little bit further back in the attack for Indy. Quinn, back post, and again, nobody is there. Ending ball will stay in for a while, but it'll be a goal kick coming for Eric Dick. Indy has one more substitution in which they can offer. Tyler Gibson, Ben Mines, Elliot Collier, all available for selection. Of course, Yannick Otel as well, if for some reason needed to replace Hunter Salt. Foul against DJ Johnson. Johnson being told that's the last of it.
John Bush signals into Johnson, just points at his head. Got to be smart here. Got to be smart here. We cannot lose another player.
Neidlinger turns 19 next week. Youngest goal scorer in Indy 11 history. Came in the last home match against New Mexico.
That was an impressive play right there. There were 2 opportunities. He looked off of 2 opportunities instead of forcing it to keep possession.
Cross blocked. And then foul against Douglas Martinez. Martinez not happy about that at all. How does Indy 11 break through, Brad?
It's going to be tougher now because of the way Pittsburgh plays. You're just going to have to move that ball quicker. Don't expect that high back line to be there. Somebody's going to be on their horse to make sure that they can cover it. Eric Dick's going to be off his line, so any ball hit over the top, they can clean up. But that ball's got to move quickly to try and find a channel or a lane to play through.
450 North Brewing, innovation and creativity through libations. Thanks to 450 North for being a partner and sponsor of the Indy 11. Elliot Collier will be the final substitution for the Indy 11 tonight, as obviously Indy has to chase it at this stage. And if this score holds, Pittsburgh is within 1 point of the Indy 11. And what is a very compact table in the Eastern Conference will be even more so at the conclusion of business tonight.
Well, you asked a question about what Indy can do, and one of the things that they can do is Elliot Collier, because as predictable as Pittsburgh makes teams by the way that they defend, it doesn't matter with Elliot Collier. It's unpredictable every time.
Collier scored last week against Las Vegas. Scored in both times he has started this year, against Vegas and Rhode Island. Neidlinger. Bernardo Forbes about to head to the fourth official.
Great movement.
Service too shallow for Amario Williams. Femu chests it down to keep it in play. Jake Lent Coop will also join the fray for Pittsburgh when given the opportunity. Foster couldn't keep that at his feet. And the long distance ball that Aiden Quinn will track all the way back to pick up for Indy.
Yeah, you reference how many games and how many minutes Bernardo Forbes has. He's going in there to be a coach on the field, make sure that nothing gets a little bit sideways for Pittsburgh.
Indy trying to force the issue. A USL League One matchup kicks off September coverage on the CBS Sports Network. Players Shield holder Union Omaha visits newcomer Spokane Velocity in their first ever regular season clash. September the 4th at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on CBS Sports Network. Quinn, Eric Dick with the read.
A terrific serve by Cam Lindley to drive that ball over the edge defender where only Neidlinger could get it.
Tonight's game is brought to us by Jack Daniel's Country Cocktails, a flavorful toast to togetherness. Here's Foster. Foster takes a tumble. Nothing of it. Foster stays down. Indy plays through. Lindley to O'Brien. Foster just now getting up. Ball pinballs out of the 18 and all the way back to midfield, and Lindley at a full trot will track it down.
Yeah, Indy's doing a great job of getting the ball wide and serving the ball in, but Pittsburgh has 7 guys in the box by the time that they do it.
Stanley makes the overlapping run. Lots of possession, but not much in terms of dangerous opportunities coming from it for Indy. Ofemu. Foster couldn't make the turn, couldn't keep it at his feet, and again, nobody's playing back at this point for Pittsburgh. They'll just knock the ball sideways and make Indy go get it. So Jake Lent Coop played at Messiah University. Division III All-American, as I look at the longtime former Division III head coach that is to my right. This will be his second match in a Pittsburgh uniform, as compared to Bernardo Forbes, who is playing in his 289th match in USL Championship play. Elliot Collier coming on for the Indy 11. He will spell Douglas Martinez. Tonight's game brought to us in part by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformation development, construction, management, and investments. Well, Indy's idea was to get 3 points tonight and a little space for themselves and the Riverhounds. At this point, they would settle for 1. Keep Pittsburgh 4 points back. Right now, Pittsburgh, the first team outside the playoff cut line, but 9 points in total. Separate spots 4 through 11. And Augustine Williams tied up by Suber. Could not get around him.
It's going to be tough. If you're going to play that ball in the center, you're going to have to play it to feet because there's just no room for a player to make a run in between those compressed players for Pittsburgh.
Famu. Ball knocked forward. Williams on the sprint, but again, Eric Dick has all the angles covered.
Smart.
He's had to make nothing of the sublime, but he's just been so rock solid tonight.
Well, that's because he's off his line, and he's been doing that all game. So he's able to clean up that ball, and especially right now with the way that Indy's looking to drive a ball through or over the back three of Pittsburgh and have Augie Williams chase it down. Eric Dick is cleaning up the back end of every one of them.
7th-year pro, former first-round pick in the MLS Super Draft by Sporting Kansas City. Quinn for Neidlinger. And everything's just been a little bit off from a passing standpoint. And possession will be overwhelmingly in favor of Indy. When we look at shots and shots on target, it's not been that big of a difference. Williams, as in Romario. Aiden, as in Stanley. Williams, one touch, turn. Suber gets in the way. O'Brien against Suber there first. And now Biasi will walk this to the corner flag. But could he hold up Neidlinger? No, Neidlinger's pressure forces the corner, brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
Yeah, you know, you question the strategy a bit there. You're not going to kill off 5 minutes in that corner. You just want to try and keep this ball as far away from your goal as possible. When you turn that corner on Neidlinger, just drive it up the field.
All 9 defenders, of course, will be inside of the 18 and around the 6. Augie Williams going to be told to give Eric Dick just a little bit more breathing room.
And he can get one. That energy and that momentum could lead to a second.
Bending ball in. Stanley has a go, but shot blocked. Ball gets all the way through, and Eric Dick has to make the diving save. I don't think that was going to be a shot. I think that was trying to find the 11 player, but get all the way through. And it's the first sprawling effort that the Carmel native has had to make tonight.
Yeah, the tough part for that is you can't read the ball. Like, if nobody touches that, you can't read the ball and go play it, because there's players coming in to that box, and so you've got to play the near post, then you've got to play that next player, and then if it goes through everybody, then you can play that ball.
Tonight's match brought to us by Hyatt Place and Hyatt House, downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy at Hyatt Place and Hyatt House. Foul against Pittsburgh. The word hurry Coming from Sean McCauley. Foster. Nothing doing there.
Yeah, that ball through the middle is just going to be. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfectly delivered. It's got to be perfectly received because there's just no room.
The USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Before I finish that thought, Augie Williams couldn't finish that opportunity, but Romario Williams steps to the fore, and that will be a corner coming for the Indy 11. A corner brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Now we can finish that thought. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for complete USL TV listings.
Great moment for Indy 11. Ball played over the top. Couldn't tell if Augie was onside or not.
And that'll be another foul against Indy. Lent Coop. Drop to the turf. And we've got the goal stoppage and the substitution stoppages. Had no hydration break in half number 2. One more substitute about to head to the bench in DN. There's Foster's speed. Couple of quick touches. Suber, though, races over. It will be a throw-in coming for the Indy 11.
That's where you've got to try and spring Malik Foster in a 1v1 with just some real estate in front of him.
Williams couldn't get there. Real estate ball hit by Pittsburgh. O'Brien gives chase. And we'll glance toward the 4th official. Deanne headed that way as well. In terms of exactly how much time is left in this one. Quinn cuts it back to Romario Williams. Cam Lindley knocks it sideways. Neidlinger.
The turn.
The deflection that Eric Dick swallows up. 4 minutes of additional time. 4 minutes that Pittsburgh will try to kill off a man down. But frankly, they really haven't looked a man down for most of that time. They have ceded possession to the Indy 11 tonight, but they have not done the same in terms of a goal.
Brilliant tactical adjustment to losing a player, and you can see the discipline in the Riverhounds because everybody was clicked in, knew exactly what to do, how to play it.
Foster. Blocked by the goal scorer in Danny Griffin. Pittsburgh wanted to get that sub in. They did not at that stoppage. Neidlinger. Stanley. Collier. Ofemu. Neidlinger has a hit. Does Neidlinger and short hops Eric Dick.
That's a tough ball to collect. You got bodies running through the box. You know it's going to bounce. How's it going to come off the turf?
So now DN will be waved on. Let's take a look.
It's a good strike, too. It's a good strike.
Luke Biassi, the player that is coming off. DN is from Senegal. He's 27 years of age, but he's played college soccer until this year. But the last 2 years at Ryder. 21 matches played, making 22. He has usually come off the bench. Has had just 4 starts. Biasi's been tremendous. Let's say about 2.5 minutes, and the 4th official is now telling Bob Lilly, hey, we're going to go over 5 minutes here because of that substitution. Neidlinger's opportunity blocked. You know, Pittsburgh's on this great run of 8 consecutive unbeaten, 4 wins and 4 draws, but this would be a season-changing win. When you play a man down on the road this long and potentially win the match,
gutty.
That's usually when you take off, is from that point.
And you put yourself, after a really difficult start, you put yourself back into the playoff run.
We gave this stat earlier, and I'll repeat it now. Pittsburgh has never missed the playoffs since Bob Lilly became the head coach. Williams, Quinn, Williams, left foot. I think Eric Dick got a hand on it. He did not. Williams just roofed it.
Great combination. That was the look that Indy wanted. That was the look that Indy needed. It was not the result.
Eric Dick with this result. Tied Danny Vitiello in terms of the list of clean sheets in the league with 11. Ball out of bounds, throw in coming here for the Riverhounds. So again, we have hit the allotted time, and because of that substitution, Indy's probably got about 1 more minute in which they have got a chance, but they're staring in the face 90 minutes of playing a man of the good and have nothing to show for it. Romario Williams scuffs that touch. Ball comes directly to our broadcast location. Now we start to glance at the match referee in terms of exactly how much time is left. Williams trying to carve out space, as in Augie Williams. Malik Foster a couple of touches. Foster trying to weave his way through traffic, draws the foul. Here's your opportunity. You have 1 strike or 1 pass to get a point if you're the Indy 11. Is this a moment of Aiden Quinn magic? Almost like from the penalty spot. Can he potentially bend one in on goal from approximately 25 yards away?
What a moment to finish this game. And Bob Lilly is arguing with the 4th official. This game should have been over. You added a minute for a sub.
Bob is arguing the day ends in Y. That's just kind of Bob.
But this is a moment here. You got to have a strike. And Eric Dick for Pittsburgh. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, he's got to come up big here. What, 108 goals standing over that ball right now?
Between Aiden Quinn and Romario Williams. Both looking for a first for Indy this year. Williams. Wow! Manna from heaven for the Indy 11. Romario finally breaks free. 1-1. And sometimes a draw feels like a win. And that's what it's going to feel like tonight for the Indy 11.
What a strike. You can see the frustration release on Romario Williams. He's had some opportunities to score earlier that were far easier than that one, but none more important than this moment right here.
on what is likely the final touch of the match. Absolutely nothing Eric Dick could do about that. Indy 11 fans have been waiting for the breakthrough moment. That's it. That's it. Match is over. Wow. Indy 11 should not feel great about a 1-1 draw up a man for 90 minutes. They're going to. Pittsburgh should feel wonderful about a 1-1 draw down a man for 90 minutes. They're not going to. Another great chapter in the Indy-Pittsburgh rivalry. Let's face it, both these teams probably feel that Louisville is their biggest rival. Right. These two produce some magic as well that is happening in front of us here at the mic tonight.
Absolutely incredible. There's not been a match between these two that you haven't walked away and just gone, what just happened?
12 times in 15 matches. It's been one goal or less that have decided it. And tonight, the points are shared. What that does is keeps that 4-point buffer between Indy and Pittsburgh. And you got to remember, Indy has a couple of matches in hand on Pittsburgh. Tough. A lot to digest at the very end of this match.
I know. The emotional roller coaster in the last minute was incredible.
We will talk to Romario Williams. We will talk to Sean McCauley at some point in time, and have some of our post-game hardware to hand out as well. Forbes, Williams, and Malik Foster, all Jamaicans, sharing a moment at the end of the match. Your final score from Indianapolis: Pittsburgh Riverhounds 1, Indy 11-1. Post-game coverage starts next.
Every place has a purpose, and the people who inhabit those places have their own reasons for being there. The last thing on their minds should be concerns about the safety of the places they are in. When it comes to security and safety for all the places that matter, Dormakaba offers a seamless flow of integrated solutions that allow people to move securely about their daily lives. Because the places that matter to you matter to us.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Tonight's match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. And by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Your Central Indiana Ford dealers are a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. You get late enough into a game, there are now in Indy 11 history goals that you will associate with a particular minute of the match. The 95th minute belongs to Ayman Zayed against the New York Cosmos in 2016. The 96th minute belongs to Tyler Pasher against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in 2020. Against those same Hounds in the 97th minute, it belongs to Romario Williams, his 59th USL Championship goal, his first in an Indy 11 uniform. The frustration has been building for Romario. Should have had one, maybe more, against New Mexico 20 days ago. He got one tonight. And not just Indy, but frankly, the three teams between Indy and Pittsburgh are cheering that result. Rhode Island, Loudoun, probably even North Carolina and Hartford too. That is a table-changing goal that was just scored by Romario Williams in the Indy 11.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's going to find their way into the top 8 by the end of the season, but you got to look at teams that are just on the outside, like North Carolina, and the sigh of relief they must have right now that there's not another 3 points on Pittsburgh that's going to make it a tougher table to claw your way back into.
That is our Sports Tech HQ stat of the game. First goal for Mario Williams. And again, this isn't like, Indy is kind of getting him at the tail end of the line. He had 15 goals last year in Colorado Springs. So that recent form is there. And oftentimes with great goal scorers, once you get one,
right,
the floodgates tend to open. Oh, and by the way, he's playing at the team that traded him earlier this year when Indy plays Hartford next Saturday night.
There's always something special about that. And, you said it. When it's a goal scorer and you've got this frustration because you've missed some you probably should have put away, or you haven't had the chances that you wanted or that you got last year, when you finally get that one, this weight is off. You're not overthinking, you're not overplaying, and then they just start to fall for you.
By the way, if the Goshen Maple Leafs go on a run in the Crossroads League, it's this moment right here, getting some advice from Mario Williams as several players for their men's soccer team are standing by. So, again, possession even more tilted for the Indy 11 in half number 2. Shots and shots on goal doubled up, but again, the man advantage for over 90 minutes. It just needed one moment to change the psyche of the Indy 11. Let's see if it just happened.
Yeah, and the crazy part, too, is that you're looking at Pittsburgh being down a player, and you're thinking, okay, it's got to come either from restarts or transitional moments. And, for Indy, for them, it came through the run of play. For Indy, it came off a restart.
Let's get to our highlights from tonight's match. And obviously, the story of this match really began in minute number 5. Again, Sebastian Guenzati got a boot to the thigh from Patrick Hogan. It was initially called a yellow. After about a minute, that yellow was changed to a red. Indy played a man to the good for the rest of the way. But as has been the case ever since Bob Lilly took over at the confluence of the Three Rivers in downtown Pittsburgh, they don't give up goals very easily, even if they were playing no defenders on the field. It took Indy 97 minutes to crack the code tonight.
Yeah, he has just got it dialed in defensively with his team, the organization and everything on it.
And credit Danny Griffin.
Oh, my goodness, what a strike.
Allow Osamanu found him, but then Indy gets one at the death to get a 1-1 draw in tonight's match. Sean McCauley still has some life in those legs because he sprinted over to our broadcast position as he joins us now. And as I said earlier, there are some draws that feel like a win. This might be one of them. Just your thoughts as to how the outlook changed with that final touch of the ball by Romario Williams.
Yeah, I mean, I've said all along that our job as a team, as staff, is to make the supporters happy. And that's all we need to do. We need to, and I say to the players every week, you go out and you give your absolute best and you play like one of them would want to play if they got the chance to wear the jersey. And I got a feeling that, if that game would have gone on for another 5 minutes, I think it's disappointing for us because we should have won the game. But because it ended when it ended, we've got to use that fuel that the supporters give us to get over the line because there's still a lot of work to be done. But I know how important the point is when you look at the league standings, knowing that they've got a good team that can put pressure on you. And probably the result tonight is great for everybody else in and around that playoff position. But it's good for us as well. Don't underestimate what point is. And we've got to look at the positives on that and not, look at the negatives. As I did say to the staff, I've been in football for 35 years and having somebody sent off after 5 minutes, I don't think I've lost many games. So it's a first for me. But I'm really pleased then because that keeps the record going. And it's a great finish. And I just thought in the first 5 minutes we started really well. And if we'd have gone 1-up now, and then they got a man sent off, I think it would have been a completely different night. But I've got to credit Bob and his team for the amount of work they put in. Because basically everything that went in the box, they got their head to.
Let's talk about Romario, because, again, he's a fantastic player. That was his 59th goal scored in the league. I know the frustration has been building for him in terms of not finding the back of the net. What does that goal do for him going forward?
I think, like you said at the very start, it's such an important goal. You know, you can get your first goal in a 3-0 win or the fourth goal in a 4-0 win, or, you know, but understanding that, you know, we're now at the very end of the run-in for the end of the season, and that's just taken what you would say is 2 points off a rival because of the way the game went. You know, you've got to realise that that's a point gained for us and 2 points dropped for them because they were in winning position. Should they have been in that position? Probably not. Should we have been in a 3-point position? For sure we should have. But we weren't, and this is how football goes, and I've just got to keep the players focused for that run-in for the end of the season and keep them going.
Yeah, the red card early on, I think, you know, certainly changes the complexion of the game. But one thing that it did is, you know, Bob Lilley's teams are so good defensively. They just were allowed to sit in. And I think that red card actually took away a lot of the space and opportunities for Foster, is that it condensed everything in the box and didn't allow him to use his pace.
Yeah, and I look at that, Brad, in terms of the first 5 minutes of the game. I think we had a chance where Seba could have scored, and Malik got in a couple of times with some clever play. And when it is 11v11, you know, the opposition have a you know, chance to come and pressure. And, you know, when it went to man sent off and 10 men and it was everybody behind the ball, it was a real challenge for us. We didn't move the ball quick enough. We've got to do that better. But, you know, in the end, walking away from here, and like I said, my primary goal is to get the club into the playoffs, get the club as far as we can in all competitions, and make sure that we play something that when people come and watch us, they want to come again.
Well, you have already gotten the club the farthest ever has in one competition. Perhaps another one could be in line a couple, 3 months from now. I'm not sure if celebrate is the right word. Exhale might be the right word after that one. Thanks for the time, my friend. We'll do it again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Sean McCulloch, head coach of the Indy 11, where Mario Williams is kind of making the handshake and autograph line. We will track him down at some point in time very soon. We'll take this quick time out. More of our post-game coverage comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer here on MyIndy TV and ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
The Indy 11 are announcing a new signing to their squad. We can now confirm it's Max from Williams Comfort Air and Mr. Plumber. Max clearly has some training to do to get into shape by game day. Soccer skills and service you can rely on from a team you can trust. Both essential for a winning performance.
So I had no job, no car, nobody to watch my son. And when I finally got a job interview, it was a